And the late adopter. Hi guys, how you doing? Check this out, check this out. The pullback is actually happening. You know, the thing that we talked about yesterday is actually happening right now, the pullback. And it's a very healthy pullback. We gotta go a little bit back before you can actually continue up. And there's a big chance we might actually continue up above 2.3. Why is there a big chance? Well, we talked about that there is a, you know, rising wedge on the Bitcoin chart, you know, and if it breaks to the upside, it can, you know, move everything to the upside. Now the rising wedges usually break to the downside, so you know, we might have some kind of pullback. That's what we're expecting. But we've seen some altcoins doing exceptionally well, making all-time highs. Like, what is making all-time high in a bear market? So we're gonna see what this is gonna do. So if some altcoins can make all-time high, there's a big probability that Cardano might also do all-time high eventually. But right now we hit the first target. You can see here we have the weekly close. The weekly close is exceptionally bullish. I mean, look at this candle right here. This weekly candle, it's insane. It's insane. How much percent is this? This is a weekly candle. That's 50% in a week. When did you have 50%? Down here, maybe down here. Was this 50%? That's 90%. Okay, there has been candles with 50%. Sure, fine. In a confirmed bull market. Right now we're not confirmed, but it's looking exceptionally well. Look here. This is the 10 and 20 moving average on the weekly. It bounced so hard. We are so close to breaking the 2.3, and I don't want to talk about targets above 2.3 because this is where the trick comes in. You know, how do you figure out targets above all-time high when you don't have any clear resistance lines? We're gonna talk about that, but it's not yet to talk about. Right now, the 2.3 is the resistance that we are looking at. 2.3 is the target we're trying to break. 2.3 is the big mama, you know, that we are trying to get above. Also on the daily chart, you can see here that 2.3 is not only the weekly resistance, it's also the daily resistance as well. So as long as we get above it on the daily, it's also going to be very, very, very bullish for Cardano. That said, we have said yesterday that we are in for some kind of correction. And you can see here for now, this is 2 days. Yesterday closed in red. Today also a little bit red. It can continue green, but some kind of a pullback, some kind of sideways movement or pullback has to happen. And you know, if we go back, it will be 184. This will be correspond to the pullback on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin falls out because Bitcoin is right now going some kind of rising wedge, and these rising wedges usually have a tendency to break to the downside. But if it breaks to the upside, it's going to be super bullish, because when you break certain stuff that has tendency to break, when you break bearish patterns to do bullishness, it's super bullish. So if it breaks to the upside, this might just explode to the upside. But if the rising wedge on Bitcoin breaks to the downside, we might expect this move down to the 1.84. Still, we're expecting a move down to 184 in case Bitcoin breaks down out of the rising wedge to the downside, because it will move the market quite a bit to the downside. Everything will have you know, decent correction, and that decent correction will come to around 184 at least, because between 184 and up here there is nothing. I mean, there might be some kind of trend line here or something like that, but you know, there is not much that's going on over here. So right now we are still looking for this pullback or this sideways motion, and you know, sideways is just as good as pullback. Pullback happens faster and you hit the moving averages and you can continue rising higher. Sideways movement is a little bit more boring, because you just have to wait at certain levels for these moving averages to come to the price and then push the price higher up. That's what's happening. So we're gonna see if this is gonna be a sideways motion or some kind of down movement. I think it's gonna be sideways as long as Bitcoin is in the rising wedge, but if it breaks to the downside, we might do this. If it breaks to the upside, we're just gonna explode without waiting for these moving averages down here, moving average, because we are already on the 4-hourly moving averages right now, on 20 moving average, but I'm looking at this 50 moving average to be hit. Why am I looking at this? Well, there was some kind of other side divergence up here. Let me go back to the 4-hourly time frame. We'll zoom in here. You can see here the price is going up, the RSI is going down, and right now we are having this you know, pull back down here. That's nice. But what you can see here is that the price is holding the 20 moving average and is trying to go high, right? So if we can create another higher high, it's a big probability that the RSI will still not you know, follow the price, and we'll have this again RSI bearish divergence, and that might pull the price again to the downside. On the other hand, if we just let me just go a little bit back to the 4-hourly. On the other hand, if we, let me zoom in again over here. On the other hand, because we had the RSI adherence here, we don't need RSI adherence here. If we could just continue going down here, the RSI might correct itself, and we might continue with the price after that. So I'm thinking like it would be very healthy for the price right now, for the price to correct itself down to the 50 moving average on the 4 hourly, I think. And then continue up about 2.3. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. You know, you can never be sure about this. This is an assumption. Right now, it's still more probable to the downside than to the upside. But if Bitcoin breaks the upside, somehow, some way, this is gonna break the upside. Either way, it's really hard to trade this right now because on one hand, you are extended on the daily time frames. You are extended from the supports on the daily time frames, from the moving averages. But on the other hand, it bullish push bullish towards the upside without a stop. So this can just continue going up. Technically, technically speaking, this can continue going up to whatever price you wanna to go to. But I don't think we are in that mania phase right now. You remember the mania phase when this was just exploding towards the upside. It just was going crazy levels down up here. Mania phase when everybody's super bullish. Price just keeps on going, breaking everything, doesn't wait for anything, creates these extreme overbought levels, and then it continues pumping up. One of the good examples of getting to over extreme levels and then pumping more is Matic. We are doing Matic on Patreon. We do Patreon a lot of altcoins, and we are doing Matic on Patreon, and we were saying like this looks overbought, this looks very risky. But every day it looks risky and overbought, but it just continues going up and up and up and up. Very good example of something that's like overbought. And that's what you get when you have a lot of bullishness, a lot of new people buying. Doesn't matter how high you get, you just continue going up higher. So that's what I'm saying, you are high here, if, bullishness kicks in on Bitcoin right now, this can explode. But from everything we can see right now, we went up on the dollar almost to 2.3. Very nice target to hit, very nice target. Some kind of sideways moves or some kind of move to the downside. 2.8, one of these other support lines. We're gonna see how far down we get, how big a correction we get, how big correction will we get to get in. It looks good, it looks nice. The correction is in the books, nothing to be worried about, especially now that since everything, some coins are actually making all-time highs in the bull market. So we're gonna see how this actually plays out. That said, thanks everybody for supporting me on the Patreon. If you wanna know about altcoin stuff like that, check the Patreon. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, hit the like button on the way out, and come back tomorrow. See you around, guys. Bye bye.